What do you want to see from your guys this week as you guys prepare for that first game of the playoffs?
Attention to detail and great execution. Golden State does some unique things, and so have to really lock in on that. Follow the game plan and be very specific with how we're trying to guard certain action and certain players.
With multiple practices leading into this series, how do you kind of divvy up the work each day? Are you focusing on a specific thing? Or are you kind of holistically approaching it?
Yeah, we'll hit the personnel every day. A lot of guys are going to be guarding a lot of different positions, so we want to make sure we know, KYP know our personnel. So we'll mix in some offense and defense tomorrow and kind of start to get into their play calls. But today was a good day to get back after it. Got the scrimmage, got up and down for the guys who have only played once in last week or two. And so a little bit of both today, a lot of personnel throughout the week, and we'll focus on offense and defense tomorrow.
Why are you confident your team can school and execute in kind of a hostile situation against a guy like Draymond Green?
Well, we've done it. I mean, we just did it recently. Obviously, that game was pretty chippy up there. And guys handled it well, so it was back and forth on both sides. And our guys understand who does what, and that's part of what Draymond does. Is what's made him successful is bringing that edge, toughness, and kind of heart and soul to our team. And so guys understand that competitive side, and I think what we do well favors us in the playoffs. Being physical, being aggressive, and we don't have to flip the switch and become who we haven't been all year. That's what we've done.
What's your approach to lineups in the postseason? Are you someone who values consistency in what you've done all year, or do you kind of go on game to game and perhaps making some lineup changes?
No, it's pretty consistent at this point. I think we've seen what worked for us, what lineups work well, and then it's obviously game by game. There'll be some chess matches there as far as what they're trying to do, what we're trying to do, and who's kind of impose their will with certain lineups. And so we know the lineups that work well for us. I think our versatility is one of our biggest strengths, that we can go small, big, zone, and all the different things like that. And it feels like we have a lot in our toolbox now that we've done throughout the season.
The current starting five does have a negative net rating, is kind of lower impact on the boards and protecting the paint and some of the other lineups. Why have you stuck with that?
Yeah, it's been really the rebounding thing. Moving guys around to certain positions has hurt our rebounding, but we've also defended certain players very well with those lineups, and so something we looked at, and we can tweak some things and put different players on different players. Obviously, men guarding guards and being away from the basket has hurt us some. Out ball has hurt us some, and so you can take away a few things, but it hurts you in certain areas. And so that'll be something to look at specifically matchup-wise with them.
When you first got here and you were trying to build a winning culture, how big was it to have someone like Fred VanVleet here to kind of help you and be like a second voice to the young guys on this team?
Yeah, that experience and that he brought, that Dylan brought, that Jeff brought as well. It's helped us immensely. I think a lot of our guys, they had some bets at times, but they had been around a lot of losing. It was good to see guys come in on a consistent basis and preach the right things, but also back it up with their play on the court, not just words. And so Fred's been instrumental at that. I think he's allowed us to grow our young guys in certain ways, and they kind of learn from the lessons that he imparts out there. And so huge pickup for us. Like I said, the right vets are crucial for their development, and they've done that.
Hey, Coach, it's been 6 years since these fans have been waiting for a playoff game at home. Why do you expect this crowd to be a factor in the series?
Yeah, I would expect it to be crazy in there. To your point, it's been a while, and I think even in big games this year, late in the season, in-season tournament games, all those things, the crowd will show up and be very supportive. And so, like I always say, it's up to us to put a winning product out there to make people want to come and make people want to cheer. And when you achieve the playoffs, that's obviously a first step in that. So we're not just happy to be here. We want to obviously make some noise as well. But the way we play, our aggressiveness, our exciting brand of basketball, getting up and down, I think resonates with the crowd.
And with the way you go ahead.
Coach, what are some of the things that you've told your young players about going into the playoffs as far as the officiating is concerned, playing through the contact?
Yeah, the game slows down. It gets more physical. But like I said, I think all those things favor us. We don't have to change who we are all year and what we've been for the last few years. And so you're going to have to play through some things. But I think we've had some tight games and some big games. I think even looking late in the season against OKC and Golden State, those games had a playoff feel, environment, atmosphere. And so those things bode well for us going forward. But more so than anything, not overthink it. It's just basketball at the end of the day. albeit more aggressive, more physical, but I think those things favor us.
But as much as Golden State has off-ball movement and many screens as they set, will that affect how much you play the double big lineup, or will you try to force them to change their lineup according to what you have on the court?
No, we'll still play ours. I think we do some things that we can do to hide certain matchups or put people on specific guys for them. That off-ball action and what they do is very unique, and it can hurt you in a lot of different ways, not just with the big lineup out there. And so what we want to do is obviously impose our will on the glass and being big with our lineups, which we have done, and it's no different against them.
Even though you guys are the second seed, it seems like some people nationwide might be underestimating y'all because you haven't been to the playoffs in so long. Do you feel like the guys care about that, or they embrace the underdog thing, or how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I wouldn't say guys care about it. There's always an experience factor that people will kind of lean on if you haven't been here, and so for us, we do have, I think, 6 or 7 guys that have been in the playoffs and made deep runs, won championships and those things. And so it's not new for them. And like I said, I try to simplify it for our young guys and tell them it's basketball. At the end of the day, the things you've done well obviously will work in the playoffs. And for them, I think a lot of people are just making the thing out of experience. And until you get there and do it for the first time, that's the only way to do it.
When it comes to the playoffs, the Warriors have sort of been that pebble in the shoe for the Rockets. Is this an opportunity to maybe avenge some previous depths, if you will, and for yourself, with Boston losing the finals against Golden State?
Yeah, I mean, you could say that because I played them, quite a few times over my years, and even in San Antonio for years, we played them regularly in the playoffs, but I don't think anybody here in this building was a part of losing to them. None of our young guys have been there, so it doesn't really impact us directly. I may have more experience against them than most of the guys here in this building, so no different as far as that. No, I think our guys don't put a lot of stock in that. They weren't a big part of it.
Ime, what do you tell the younger guys who haven't been in the playoffs about the specificity and the matchups and all the little things they have to do to get ready for this?
Yeah, first is to enjoy it and learn this seed that we got and the rest time that we got and the preparation time that we got. But you do have to lock in and be more focused. Everything's to a heightened sense as far as knowing your personnel about specific plays, how we can take away certain actions. And so these 4 or 5 days to hammer at home is going to be big for us. But you don't want to get in the game and be overthinking things. We want to be clear with what we're doing defensively in a lot of different ways, and offensively being intentional with how we're trying to get on spacing in certain matchups. And so that worked well for us in the last Golden State game. Felt like we got to a lot of really good actions late in the game to take advantage of opportunities, and it's more of the same, albeit in a heightened sense.
Coach, what is the difference you've seen in the Warriors since they've added Jimmy? And do you believe there's such a thing as a playoff Jimmy?
I would say the first thing is they've been more consistent on defensive end. You put him out there with Moody, with Green, and even Podzimski and those guys. They have a solid defensive team. I think the numbers show that since he's been there, creating a ton of turnovers. I think number one is that in that as well. And then offensively, it's just another hub to kind of focus on. Take it out Steph's hand some, another guy that can facilitate, not only score for himself, but he's really getting guys involved. So, I would say I don't know about the playoff Jimmy thing, but he has risen to the occasion over his time in Miami. I had a hard series against him that went to 7 a few years ago, and he always steps up to the plate. But I think even more than that, since he's gotten there, and I think their record's 23-7, something like that, he's improved their team, obviously, and given them a different identity. But what he does is very specific. And it's not just a guy you can key on Curry anymore. You got to worry about him, obviously, having a few big games recently.